Louis, coach in Cincinnati, and Patrick Schulte, goal for Columbus. So lots at stake for the people in St. Louis. So hopefully you guys will be watching that.
Hell is real, right?
Huh?
Hell is real.
Hell is real. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the rivalry they got going. It's huge. So, and again, I just want to welcome everybody that's on this Zoom call tonight. And again, just, as always, look forward to speaking with everyone. Apologize last time I couldn't get on. But again, going forward, I'll do my best. And I know this is a very important call because I saw a little spirited debate between the people in St. Louis. And I tell you what, it was handled very, very professionally. And again, I let Greg and those guys obviously comment about it when they come on, and Terry. But thank you guys for including me on the emails and keeping me in the loop. So I think it was, you guys handled it very well as far as coming up with the best 11 or all tournament team in the way you did it. And that speaks volumes for this program and where it's going. And we intend to do that with the people that jump on board in the future. So let me start off with I just want to thank everyone for coming on here. And again, Al, great to see you. Okay, but
Kevin, you recording?
Oh, I forgot. Kevin, you want to count down if you can record?
All right. Yeah, we're on. We're live. But I guarantee that, ladies and gentlemen, the long-awaited, highly anticipated National High School Soccer. Yeah, we got it going on. And people, please, start it in your community. It's an outreach. Ask all these great players and coaches to help you out. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Perry Vandenbeck and the Florida boys.
Thank you, Kevin. Okay, so I appreciate that introduction. And let's just start with the St. Louis report. That can start with Greg, Terry, guys from St. Louis. Have at it.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Greg. Again, we had our a very largely attended championship game that SLU ended up winning pretty commandedly. We're very pleased with how the attendance again was outstanding. Another, wall to wall, all the way around the fence type of thing. And it was a great competition all through, and everything went smoothly. As everybody knows, Creve Coeur, where we have the final, was hit by a tornado in the spring, and we had to move the girls to Maryville. So they upgraded. They're adding on to their complex, and they're putting a building up. They're waiting for funding to come through, which might house a portion of the Hall of Fame. It's still up in the air. It depends on the funding. But it's going to be a 2-story with a glass surround that can see all the fields. And so that'll be an exciting thing in the future. And what Perry brought up about the debate on the Champions League 11. And, we came to a conclusion that it'll stay with the just 11 players from the final 4 teams that make it. It was a spirited debate, and everybody put their voice in, and it turned out to be a pretty good thing. I'll let Terry, if you have anything else, Terry, you want to add to that. But we look forward to the spring now. We're going to have I think December 11th, we're having our drawing. I don't know if Vader's online here, but Vader was talking about having December 11th, and then have everybody come together and for the drawing for next year, boys. The spring's already set. Eric Delabar at Maryville is very anxiously awaiting that to happen. So that'll be here before we know it, but we're very excited about what's ahead and what we got going. We have a couple new sponsors. Fastlane came through at the very last minute for the scholarship, and luckily we got that their name on, and he got a check printed out, and we were able to go out to Clayton High School and present that to the young man who won it. And we have Athletic Republic who joined us over a period, I think 3 years or something like that. They're going to pay a certain amount. So that's pretty exciting as well. So that's all I have. Terry, you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I'll jump in real quick about the debate because it was very much of a philosophical difference of a point of view. Um, one side of the argument was to keep it exclusive to honor the Final Four competitors and only make the best 11 out of that group. And the other side of the argument was to include everybody who was in the Champions League, all 16 teams. And I think if we just fall back on some of our 5 principles, first of all, through collaboration, we were able to get this thing resolved by including everybody in their vote on it. And secondly, and I think maybe more importantly, if we stay true to the merit-based point of our Champions League, there has to be some qualification and condition and exclusivity that not everybody gets into the competition to start with. So we can kind of keep that theme in mind as we go through it. And Greg made a lot of really good arguments about who you include, who you don't, and why, and what the different level of competition when you get to the Final Four. So that we used merit-based and we used collaboration. Gave everybody a vote, and we came up with the answer we needed. So that was well done. It was the first time we were actually put to the test, and I think we came out of with a good result.
Yeah, I agree, Terry. You did. You have my admiration the way you guys handled that, because again, it wasn't easy. Great ideas. Everybody, just trying to pitch in, which is good. That's what you need. And obviously, as other states get involved, they might, choose a different path. But in the meantime, you guys go with what works, and and again, you can always make changes, but for the most part, obviously you're heading in the right direction. So, any more comments there from St. Louis?
No, good.
Hey, good. Okay. All right. So, let's move on to the Tampa Bay report. Jim, I don't see
Dave?
Dave on. Yeah. So.
Okay, I can
go
take
ahead.
it. I'd like to add in something about that debate, because I got to see some of that too. I think you guys nailed it on the fact that this is a great example in practice of our principles, especially Principle 4, the principle of coach collaboration. And so, just to anybody that doesn't know the exact details, Dave Ehrenberg, the coach of Ladue High School, he runs something called the St. Louis Best 11 on a weekly basis. It's open to everybody in St. Louis. Coaches vote on it. But then the question came up, what about a Champions League Best 11? And the debate centered on, should the 11 come from the Final Four of the Champions League participants, or all 16 of the Champions League participants, whether they make it to the Final Four or not. And so the debate centered on that question. And it was a great debate, and I want to really throw props to Dave Ehrenberg, because he took the position that it should be everybody, and his side of the argument lost. But why I wanted to throw props to Dave is he accepted it. He made his argument, and then what came back was against him, and he was fine. He didn't get mad. He didn't say, well, then you guys do it. I'm not going to do it anymore. Nothing like that. It was perfect. And in a lot of ways, it was a lot like, Greg, what you went through when you were going through the dog days of trying to get the Champions League off the ground in St. Louis, when it seemed like there were times when you were doing it by yourself. But you never, you just did it. It was great. I think that whole episode was our best in action as high school coaches, operating sort of as educators, following our principles, having a spirited debate, and then let the best side win. I think it was fantastic. It was what we need in soccer, I think, and I was excited about it. Here in Tampa, we're starting our Champions League, our 8th Boys Champions League this week. The first games are on November 6th, and we have a total of 12 boys teams, 2 groups of 6. So each team has 5 games, and they'll play out over the coming weeks. Our final is going to be on December 13th at Al Lang Stadium. The Tampa Bay Rowdies will be the host. The girls are going to be playing their first round games in the same time frame between now and then. Between this date today and December 13th, which is going to be a doubleheader final at Lang Stadium, where the Rowdies will host the girls in Game 1 and the boys in Game 2. That's a Saturday night. We've decided that following the St. Louis model, admission is going to be free. We're not going to charge admission at the gate. Anybody can come, and we hope as many people as possible come. And the Rowdies are working closely with us. The other thing, I've mentioned this in previous calls, but it's worth a reminder, because it's really exciting, is that the Tampa Bay Rowdies and the Tampa Bay Sun, which is the girls' professional team, the women's professional team in the USL, are co-promoting this final, and starting this year and then into next year, are going to share the hosting duties of the Champions League doubleheader final. So in December 2026, the Tampa Bay Sun will be hosting both the boys and girls finals. In 27, back to the Rowdies, and so on. At least that's what our plan is for the time being. I think it's interesting to have this opportunity for both the men's and women's professional team in the same market to promote something together, because while it seems like they have a lot in common because they're both soccer teams, what could they really actually do together than just promote each other? But then to go in together to promote some of this community event, I think it's really cool, and I think it sets a model for other markets to follow. So I really give a lot of credit to the leadership at the Tampa Bay Sun, plus Ryan Helfrich, the Rowdies president, for that, because they're wide open in wanting to do all that stuff with us, and we're the beneficiary. We got our equipment from Tim McAvoy, and Dave's done a great job as always passing it out, the balls and so forth. John Walsh and Chris Crush, I don't know if Chris is on this or not, you might want to connect separately with Terry Mickler, because Terry has a manufacturer that's had some hats made. We bought some for Tampa. This is the hat right here. It's a United States High School Champions League hat. So it's that new logo that I think Terry's friend had made up that we're starting to use in some of our stuff that we're doing. Okay, what else do I have? And I wanted to throw back one of our Champions League draw people. We do the Champions League draw in February every year. We do it at Ferg Sports Bar. It's a public thing. And Jimmy DeNoble, who is a retired coach here in the Tampa Bay area, a longtime coach at Eckerd College, has been with U.S. Soccer, coaching the goalkeepers in U.S. Soccer. He was with USF for a long time. Many things, lots of clubs. Jimmy is in our meeting tonight, and Jimmy just recently got voted into the Tampa Bay high school, or not high school, but Tampa Bay Soccer Hall of Fame that Perry runs. So Perry, I'm going to throw it to you as I close out the Tampa Bay report, so you can talk about the Tampa Bay Hall of Fame and about Jimmy as well.
Well, thanks, Jim. I appreciate that. This is a good opportunity, and I agree, Ziggy. Many applause here for Jim DeNoble. I came here to Tampa in '78, and I think, Jim, we met, right then at that time, so I've known you a long, long time. And again, as Jim mentioned, we started our first Tampa Bay Soccer Hall of Fame, kind of like St. Louis, well, a lot like St. Louis. We used their model, and we were able to launch it in August of 2025, which is 50 years since the Rowdies had their first game here in 1975. So in conjunction with the soccer here, and obviously the Rowdies playing a part in growing the game here, we thought it was an honor for us to put something together to honor the actual people that have just pioneered this game here in Tampa. And again, Jim, I reached out to him very early. Jim was assisting me with this, not knowing that we when it came down to the voting, it was pretty simple, Jim. Obviously, someone like you and your background and everything you put into the game, it just went hand in hand. So again, I'd like to acknowledge, obviously, Jim being on this call. He was what Jim Hart started off part of our first 11. It turned out when we had, I think, 65 nominees, and we all voted. It came down to, out of those votes, we had 11 selected. And it wasn't just coaches, it was players, coaches, referees, builders. So it just encompasses, Tampa Bay, kind of the backbone of when soccer really, started here and took off. And again, I'll be real quick. Tim McAvoy, I told this story I think before, when I first met him when he came down here with Select Soccer, he pulled out his phone and he showed me a picture of him taking the coin toss at USF. And I says, Tim, when's that? He goes, Perry, it was in 1969, and I had no idea that USF was playing at that time. So I was learning a little bit then. And I know that one of my coaches back then it was Ruiz and Council Volkswagen, was Dan Gaffney, and Dan attended the University of South Florida. So again, Jim, congrats, everything that you've done for the game and just being a part of, and as you continue to be a part of growing the game. We have the AGMs, we have the International Coaching Symposiums, we have the High School Champions League, and you're involved in all that. You know what? Just admiration and just thanks for everything you do.
Any way I can help, I'm always ready, willing, and able. And thanks to you for all the hard work and everything that you put into our Tampa Bay Soccer Hall of Fame, getting the initial one off the ground, and all the things that went into it. It was a fantastic night to be part of. Yeah, the starting 11. The starting 11 yet, and love our community, love our Tampa Bay Soccer, and big shout out to the St. Louis people for their model. And Jim Leaker came down. I got to spend some one-on-one time with Jim and explored a lot of the history of St. Louis and Tampa and a lot of the old history, and it was really good to get to meet him. So thanks, guys and girls, ladies. It was a fun night, and I guess the nominations are now officially open for the next year. So
Yes, they are.
forward to that.
It's exciting. Every time I jump on this call, because again, obviously I was born in St. Louis, and as Taylor Tolman says, he was made in St. Louis, and I agree with him. And just to see that background, with Terry Mickler and Al Trost and Greg Keller and all these, people from St. Louis, and Annie, you're on this call too. It's and again, obviously living in Tampa, it's it's always special to me to connect with everybody back in St. Louis.
I should give out a shout out to Fred Skokorski.
Yes.
Another St. Louis original who came down from St. Louis to play for USF, and Fred was the face of it and did a great job spearheading everything. But Barry, you did all the hard work. I know that.
Well, I just wanted to see it work. That was the only thing. It was the first one. We had in August, and May we haven't any tickets sold yet. So we ended up having 435, by the way, which is kind of the amount which St. Louis has. So, but again, you guys have been doing a lot longer, and I enjoyed coming every year, and I'll be there in March. Jim, thanks again. I appreciate it. We'll move on to, we have Polk County, somebody from Polk County to have a report.
I don't think Chris is here with us.
Chris
Brashaw. Chris Crawshaw's not on this call.
He's not on this call.
The only thing I can report from Polk County is we're still planning on having the Tampa Bay winner play the Polk County winner on January 10th in the I-4 Super Cup. The next time we have our meeting, we'll have a lot more information on that when we have our January High School Champions League National Zoom call.
Okay, fantastic. All right. And again, thanks, Jim. I appreciate that. John, you just back. I saw you on before, and you just came back on, so it's perfect time.
My internet sucks. I was just some software update, and I clicked back in. So,
John, you did fantastic. I mean, you didn't skip a beat here, so I appreciate that. So go ahead. Appreciate you getting back on.
All right. Florida High School Soccer for the winter season starts this week. It's match week 1. We're similar to Tampa Bay in terms of 4 groups, 6 teams each. We've got a couple issues with holiday breaks and teams not being able to play, so we're going to finish group play before the holiday break and then come back after the break and play a semifinal and final, which kind of gets you in playoff mode going into the state tournaments that start at the end of January. All the stuff from Select was received, divvied up, and I spent a day and a half driving through East Dade County and then West Dade County and then Boca. So everyone's got their stuff. I was able to avoid having to drive to Key West to drop it off since there was a preseason where someone was playing Key West. So everyone is sorted. Again, much appreciated from Tim and Select. Again, great stuff, and everyone's appreciative of it. So, fingers crossed we pull it off again this year.
That's great news, John. Appreciate everything you're doing, and it's like you said, somebody's got to get out there and get all the equipment out. And thanks to Tim McAvoy for providing all that. He continues to support this, and it's been fantastic. Everything he's been doing, I've heard nothing but positives for him, and I know he puts a lot of time and effort into it. Okay, so we do have some guests on here, and I know Jimmy had mentioned that a couple of people wanted to speak. So can I just maybe start with Ziggy?
Sure.
Yeah, Ziggy, I follow you on Facebook every day.
All right. Hopefully it's good content.
It is.
I won't be long. I just want to thank John Walsh for letting me speak to the FACA coaches in Orlando a couple of weeks ago. It was nice to get in front of some high school and club coaches and talk about college recruiting. And I also wanted to, this is more for the Tampa group, I have an opportunity to possibly take over what used to be called the Senior Soccer Challenge. It's usually, Pinellas versus Hillsborough, seniors only. I'm trying to think of a format where I can include either an additional game, maybe they call it, some kind of newcomer or the best, underclassmen game, where we can incorporate the high school Champions League model into that Senior Soccer Challenge. Traditionally, it's been held at Countryside High School for 30-some years. I'm looking for venues and obviously looking for people to maybe help jump in. It is a huge project, but they're giving scholarships. I think I'm going to have a way to have Tim get some business out of it on the soccer balls and the uniform front, as a thank you for working with us here at the Champions League. So just, wanted to open for any input, how I can maybe incorporate some of the Champions League principles into a senior all-star game. Because a lot of these high school players, just either can't afford the club models and the fee structure. So any other way we can recognize them and maybe even make it a small college recruiting event would be great.
Diggy, let's get a Zoom meeting here this week, and I've got a lot of stuff I can share with you.
Okay.
I'll send you an email.
Yeah, David and I had a good chat. He's going to give me the coaches for both counties, just to make sure that they all get a chance to nominate their players. And it's always a great event. A lot of volunteers pitch in a lot of time and effort, and but it's a first-class event that didn't happen last year because I think they had a lack of volunteers. And I hate to see it die because it's been such a great event. But if we can kind of reinvigorate it, give it maybe a new twist, a new format, even a new title if need be, I think that would be great. So
yeah, thanks.
Throw that out there.
Sorry, Ziggy, I apologize, but I'm saying that competition does go back a long time.
It does, yeah.
I remember going to a few of those games, and actually I think it was Jim or somebody invited me to, announce one of the games. But as far as venues goes, I would look at also at USF and UT on the Hillsborough side, and then if you want to flip-flop it every year, you can, pick Eckerd College. But
yeah, I talked to the Rowdies. I think they already have one event that weekend, and they don't want to do two in the same weekend. I've got a call into the Sun as well, but yeah, I'll reach out to USF and UT because it needs to be, I think, in Tampa to maybe give both counties an opportunity to, especially if we're going to draw. We're possibly thinking about adding maybe Pasco County or maybe even Polk County into that mixture. Maybe having two games, maybe on two different nights. So the format's still up in the air, but I do want to make sure this gets off the ground and find ways to incorporate sponsors of ours like Tim and Select into and give them some business back for all they invest in us.
yeah, nice. So, Greg and Terry, do you guys have something like that in St. Louis? It's an all-star game.
We have a senior all-star game at the end of the high school, at the end of the summer. Right.
Okay.
It's usually a north-south. It's been going on for quite a while.
Okay.
A good number of years, yeah.
Missouri Club.
That's it. Okay. That was something like that.
Annie's in charge of it. Annie Beekman.
Jim Wilson's in charge of it, and Jason Sellers does a great job, and I just help out where I can.
Oh, great.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, Annie. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Barry.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Ziggy. Good to see you. So again, Mike McAlone's on this call, and again, Mike, I mean, we've talked on the phone and we've sent some emails back and forth. So good to see you, and again, obviously, thanks, for helping us out. And go ahead and give us some thoughts.
Yeah, Perry. Look, it's tremendous to be here. Look, I've learned what great things you guys have done in Tampa, what Terry and Greg have done in St. Louis, and we're trying to bring that ambition to Dallas. As I'm working right now with the new USL team, the championship tier that's going to be coming called Athletico. Our sporting director Brian Corcoran is really the front guy who is interfacing with a lot of the UIL coaches to see how we can bring this to life the way you guys have done so very successfully. His son plays for Nashville right now, and he just got finished with the U20 World Cup in, I think, Morocco or something. So He's been a little busy, so he's not on here tonight. But I think he's had some conversations with at least maybe a half a dozen to a dozen schools around the Metroplex where we can try to work this out and, like I said, hopefully get this up and running. Because the ambition is once we get that going, I'm the VP of sponsorship for the team itself. So I want to dovetail what we're doing on the pro set side and see how we can bring scholarships and things of that nature to support the high school champions thing. Because, aside from the academy that we have, there's 3,500 kids already strong. Our ownership group is very passionate about the affordability of soccer and bringing kids that aren't academy able to the forefront. Like, I think our guys have already donated over a 3-year period, like $175,000 to a city called Garland, Texas, which is where we were going to be having our headquarters. And that's still a little bit in flux. But look, I'm just here to, by the graciousness of your guys' invite, to learn more, be smarter, and then once we're up and running, trying to emulate what you guys have done so successfully. So there you have it.
I appreciate it, Michael. So again, are you just focused on Dallas? Because I know that I'm going to be in Houston on the 21st of November, and that's where Tasco has their convention of a year.
Oh, really? I was not aware of that.
Yeah,
Brian might know that. I did not know that.
I'll get back to you on that because, again, we do clinics in front of, like, say, 200-300 high schools.
Sure.
Right? It's well attended. It's in Galveston. And, again, I don't want to take anybody's time here, but let you and I talk about that because, again,
Yeah, sure.
I've gone the last 3 or 4 years and, spent 2 days there and do some clinics for the coaches, and I love doing it.
Excellent. Yeah,
It's a good time for them to talk to them.
That'd be great.
Okay. I'll be in touch with you on that. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate
Okay.
it. Jim, is there anyone else?
No, I think we've gone through everybody. Ted,
Okay.
the one thing I wanted to ask is, Al Trost, did you happen to have occasion to go to the Champions League final or any of the games in the Final Four? I was just curious. And if you did happen to have occasion to go, what did you think of it?
I made it to I was in town this year, so I made it to the final. And
Tell us about it from your perspective.
well, I mean, the score was lopsided, but the game was tremendous. I thought I was really impressed, and I was sitting in the stands right in the middle between obviously the students from St. Louis Shoe High and the students from and right in the middle. So I'm catching everything, the enjoyment. Well, you got to know how boys' private schools, how they get into the game. But I thought everything went well. I mean, the crowd was fabulous, and the game. Obviously, the score was lopsided, but the game wasn't that lopsided. It got lopsided in the last 20 minutes, 25 minutes of the game.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So I really impressed play and with overall, character of all the players. I was impressed.
That's great.
Yeah, that's great, pal.
Did I get on?
The only other thing, Perry, I wanted to say was to thank Annie for dropping in on this meeting. I'd sent you that invitation, and I'm just excited to see you checking us out and seeing what it's all about, because you're somebody that would like to get involved in this.
And I appreciate the invite, and I just didn't have the capacity in the past few years. I finished getting a master's degree. I took on a new role, and so now that I've accomplished a few things, I have a little bit more time to dedicate and would like to learn more. And, possibly I've talked to people at the Missouri Athletic Club that could possibly sponsor not a whole lot of money, but a little bit. So I want to talk to Terry and Greg a little bit about how I can help at the St. Louis end.
And I'll say this, one, from a help standpoint, money is always great.
Yeah.
But just the recognition and the partnership, like for us, the Tampa Bay Rowdies and Tampa Bay Sun don't give us any money, but we
Yeah.
don't really need money from them.
Yeah.
Just being with them and co-promoting something with them lends a legitimacy to what we're doing that really money can't buy. And so just keep that in mind.
Good to know. Like, I have a lot to learn. I have a lot of catching up to do.
Beautiful.
Hey, Biggs, can I join in for a quick minute with
Yes.
Ms. Geekman here?
What's
Hey,
up?
Biggs, how you doing?
Good.
Love
You
it.
know,
I
you
love it.
guys support the College Player of the Year, right?
Yeah.
You have a big function with that?
Yeah.
Maybe you could run this by the ups down there and get a Champions League award for the Player of the Year of the Champions League. And
That's-
you guys could sponsor that and put it on that same platform.
That's a good idea. So, are you thinking to have it during the Herman Awards, or what are you thinking?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Recognize at the same
Yeah.
time. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we recognize the high school state championship teams, and so that's something we could add.
Good. That would give more recognition.
Yeah.
Wouldn't cost you too much other than a trophy. It's
Right.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't be even a St. Louis centric thing, Annie, because we've got, like, for example, our MVP of our 2021 game, Santiago Castaneda, he's playing in Germany right now for a team that has a chance to get promoted to the Bundesliga. And he played for the Rowdies, and we've got some really good players that have come through. And high school soccer, there was an article in Soccer America about Santi, how high school soccer rescued his career. He was burning out, and he went to play for his high school team and fell back in love with the game. And here he is now in Germany. And so he's a legit player. And we've got other legit players down here. And some of them, most of them play for clubs, but some of them, high school is it. It's just because they can't really afford to play for clubs, or the clubs haven't found them yet. But the point I'm getting to is the Herman Award is a national thing. The High School Champions League is a national thing.
Yeah.
So let's just keep that in mind. John Walsh down in Miami-Dade and Broward, they've got players for years coming out of there. Those kids can play. So as this thing goes on, and of course Dallas, we all know what they can do. So maybe as we move forward, maybe there's a model that we can sort of develop. Ziggy Nagel, who's looking to do this high school all-star game here, just ran our first showcase event for high school players this past summer. He incorporated high school players into a showcase event that he was running for a club. So this sort of these feelers of involvement at the high school level, Annie, these are so important for these high school coaches, and we're never going to say, oh, and by the way, we need money.
Yeah.
I mean, we might. I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I know we're looking a lot more for that inclusion than a check. If that makes sense.
It
Hey,
does.
Jim?
Yeah.
Two players actually got full ride scholarships out of that showcase event, so it served its purpose.
Wow.
Ziggy, you are the man.
Yeah, Ziggy, that's
Hoping
great.
to increase that. So it was good.
Yeah, very good.
Good start.
Yeah. So overall, Terry, thanks for mentioning that to Annie. And again, Annie, that's something that obviously between you and Terry could get together on. And, you know, even if it just starts locally in St. Louis because of St. Louis High School Champions League, but as it continues to grow across the country, maybe could it take effect, and we can, obviously it could be something national one day.
Yeah.
But you got to start somewhere. So that's a good recommendation, Terry. Thank you.
And Jimmy and Perry, at the draw in February, you guys are going to be sharing the stage with Leo Fernandez,
Okay.
who I was talking with Leo, and he's like, I want to get more involved. I said, listen, I got the perfect thing. Come and do the Champions League draw with us. Because you just tell me when and where, I'll be there. So,
Yeah.
These types of activities and this type of, Perry, we can't tell you enough how much we appreciate what you do for us. We're so grateful, all of us. I know I speak for everybody on this call. So that's what I got tonight.
Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. So, having said that, everyone, is there anybody else that has any more information you'd like to share? I know it's Sunday evening and there's some MLS games on, but I'll tell you what, I thank you everyone for jumping on this call. Appreciate you taking the time and your continued support. Greg, first class, you and Terry, what you guys are doing up there. Mike, Alone, let's get together this week. Just send me your schedule. We'll jump on a call. I'll tell you the information about Houston. It'd be great if you could join us. Just, trying to obviously spread the word.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay?
Thank you, Kevin Whalen and Whale Certified Podcast.
Always, Kevin.
Boom, boom. There you go, baby.
Al, great to see you as always. John, thanks for your input. And you guys, you know what, we'll be in touch. And again, just I love the way that, we're included on these emails so everybody's kind of in the loop. That way, when we bring these conversations up on the call, that, kind of know what's going on. So, again, Greg, between you and Dave and Terry and Vader, all those guys, very good how you guys were able to work that out. Excellent. All right. Very good.
All right, we'll see everybody in January.
Yes. Take care. All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.